allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You can file it, take it home.
Here.
Mr. Picado?
Here.
Mrs. Pascal? Here. Mrs. Moore? Here. Mr. Wood?
Here.
Mrs. Kelly? Here. Mr. Farrell?
Here.
Mr. Wood?
Here.
Mr. Basor?
Here.
And Mr. White.
Here.
Public notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meeting Act has been given by the clerk in the following manner. Book 1, posted on the bulletin board in the Borough Clerk's office on January 6, 2014. Emailed to the retrospect and further posted on January 6, 2014. Approval of minutes. Can I motion is to approve the minutes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes for 2/25/14 and for 3/4/14.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Guys have it. Reports.
The report of the construction official for the month of March, total of $10,897 was collected for various items including COs. All monies were taken over to the treasurer. The report of the police chief for the month of March, total of $350.80 was collected for various accident discovery, solicitor reports, open requests, and firearm permits. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. We have a report of the municipal court for the month of February, a total of $13,007.98 was collected in fines. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. We have a report of the borough clerk for the month of March, a total of $7,463.20 was collected for various licenses, permits, and including dog and cat licenses. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. We have a report of the registrar of vital statistics for the month of March. A total of $4,384 was collected for various death copies, marriage copies, and marriage licenses. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. We have the report of the fire marshal for the month of March. A total of $2,682 was collected in fees. There were 61 inspections completed, 134 incidents, 1 special use type 1 permit issued, and March EMS fees collected $30,168.67. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. We have a report of tax collector for the month of March. A total of $391,296.29 was collected in taxes and $146,501.72 in sewer rentals. And that's all I have.
Can I have a motion? Can I have a motion?
I second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Communication.
For the communication we have is from Officer Chris Robinson. Is a note thanking Mayor and Council for the free basket during his recovery after surgery.
Can I have a motion?
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Public hearings.
Okay, we have 4 public hearings. First public hearing is ordinance 1401. This is an ordinance amending the chapter of the Code of the Borough of Runnemede, section 375. Towing, this portion of the meeting is open to the public. Anyone wishing to speak on this matter and this matter only should step up to the microphone and state their name and address.
Hi, Henry Noble, Beaverbrook Motors, Runnemede. I got a couple of questions with this.
You're gonna put this out for a license, is this gonna be a license that's gonna be for anybody that wants to tow in the borough of Runnemede?
Yes.
So in other words, anybody that comes in and buys a license is gonna be able to do,
Anybody who meets the criteria and stipulations that are contained in the ordinance, that's correct.
The criteria is they have to have, a yard within a certain area, capacity.
okay. All right, the other question I have is, I read some of the rates that you had posted in the paper, and a few of them are a little excessive. I think with other surrounding communities and stuff, I think this might light you up with a little bit of problems here. Now, who's gonna handle any of these problems? Like, should we say somebody comes in and wants to complain? Do we say, well, maybe you gotta go to mayor and council? Do we send them to the chief of police? What do we do with these people? Because I don't think you're having any right now.
No. They can certainly, express their dissatisfaction to the borough, but everybody, you or whoever, is operating under a specific ordinance that says for this service, this is the fee. It's not negotiable, it's not changeable, it's not anything. Okay. So they can express their unhappiness, but it's an ordinance, and if this ordinance is adopted, we all have to live with it, the good, the bad, and the ugly of it.
Okay? So I'll get the question that I need. Thank you.
Mark, one second.
Yes.
Were you under the understanding that if you buy the license, it doesn't automatically, that license is not automatically there and then you're going to start towing and running?
Oh, I can understand.
Okay, I just didn't know if you just bought the license, that it's still going to be up to the county.
It's an application fee.
It's not a license, it's an application fee. For anybody wishing to perform this service, Phil submits, okay,
Yeah.
an application in there. I believe it's $200, don't hold me to that number, but I think it's $200.
And when would we purchase that?
You would, $500. So if this ordinance is adopted, then we'll post that we're going to accept applications. So if anyone wanting to apply would apply and submit a $500 fee for the application. Then the police department and others will do the investigative things that they're required to do under the ordinance, and then the council will make a determination of which one, or two, or three, or entities. Do you live in it? I can't remember. I believe it. Which entities are going to be authorized to perform these services in the borough? Okay. Now, it may be that 10 people apply, but only 3 get approved. But the fee covers some of the expenses that we will incur by doing the investigations that have to be done.
Okay.
So it's not a license per se, but it'll be, so we'll then, the council will then say, the following 1, 2, 3, whatever, entities are authorized to conduct towing with the borough under the conditions contained in the ordinance.
Okay, so right now it's just an application fee that we're doing, and then the application fee, once we do that, then it comes back in front of you.
That's right, and then there's no other fees from the tower to the borough.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it is a $500 application
I just
fee.
couldn't remember. I was trying to page through the read,
The motion to adopt on second and final reading.
Well, I make a motion first to close the public portion of the meeting. First, seeing no one else, make a motion to close the public portion of the meeting.
You said,
All in favor?
Aye.
A motion to adopt on second and final reading and advertise according to law. Can I have a motion?
I make a motion to adopt on second reading.
I second.
Roll call.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mrs. Miller.
Yes.
Mrs. Casio.
Yes.
Mr. Root.
Yes.
Mr. Fowle.
Yes.
And Mr. Wallace.
Yes.
6 ayes.
It's adopted.
Next is ordinance 1409. This is an ordinance authorizing redemption request fees amending chapter 153 of the Runnemede Code. This portion of the meeting is open to the public. If anyone has anything to say regarding this ordinance and this ordinance only, they should step to the microphone and state their name and address.
You want to describe, this is the,
This is the sudden rash of requests being received in the tax office from banks and mortgage companies for redemption fees. These banks, they know that there's a lien on a property, and instead of just asking for it and paying it off, they are, every month, they put a request in, maybe even more often than that, depending on whether things are going to, trying to go to settlement, whatever the reason is. The tax law allows us to charge a fee after the second request. And this would be a fee of, I believe, $50. The first two are no charge, the third one would be $50.
you need a motion? I make a motion to adopt on second and final.
Need,
Oh,
public
do we do public? Or is this public?
We wrote it in public.
Open to the public.
Close public.
Anybody want to come up? No? Seeing no one, I make a motion to close the public portion.
Okay.
I second that motion.
Now I make a motion to adopt ordinance 14-9 on second and final reading and advertising. Well, that was my motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, since you took over, so roll call.
Mrs. Keller?
Yeah, no.
Yes. Mrs. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Passio?
Yes.
Mr. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
And Mr. Capadas?
Yes.
That's 6 ayes.
I move that this resolution be adopted.
The next ordinance is bond ordinance 14-10. This is a bond ordinance authorizing the acquisition of a fire truck in the amount of $675,000. This portion of the meeting, is open to the public. Anyone wishing to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance only should step up to the microphone and state their name and address.
Seeing no one, I make a motion to close the public portion.
I second that motion.
Roll call.
No, just on this. We're just closing the public.
All right.
Voice vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call.
No, first we can- that's why he's gonna make a motion.
Another motion, motion to adopt on second and final reading and advertise according to law.
I make a motion.
Now roll call.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mrs. Passio?
Yes.
Mrs. Moore? No. Mr. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
And Mr. Capadas?
Yes.
5 ayes, 1 nay.
I move that this resolution is now adopted.
Ordinance 1411, this is an ordinance prohibiting parking on the portion of Davis Road, amending chapter 106, vehicles and traffic, schedule 1, prohibited parking on certain streets. This portion of the meeting is open to the public. Anyone wishing to speak on this ordinance or this ordinance only should step to the microphone and state their name and address.
Seeing no one, I make a motion to close the public portion.
I second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'd like the motion to adopt this resolution.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 1411 on the second and final reading and advertise according to law.
I second.
Roll call.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mrs. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Passio?
Yes.
Mr. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
And Mr. Capadas?
Yes.
6 ayes.
I move that this resolution is now adopted. Committee for the good. Finances and Administration, Ms. Capadas.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to rely mostly on my report from caucus. That's it, but I would like to say that we're going to have a special meeting because of the power going out in the road today that caused us a little bit. So at the end of the meeting, I'd like to request that we have another meeting next Tuesday, which would be our formal budget meeting, where we would introduce the budget and have a little PowerPoint presentation. And other than that, if I were that process.
Public Safety, Eleanor Kelly.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have several raffle licenses that have been applied for. Raffle license 14-05, 50/50 on-premise cash raffle, Holy Child Parish, 6/23/14 through 6/28/14. Raffle license 14-06, 9 games of chance, Holy Child Parish, 6/23/14 through 6/28/14. Raffle license 1407, 50/50 off-premise, Holy Child Parish, 6/28/14. Raffle license 1408, basket auction, Holy Child Parish, Altar and Rosary Society, 5/3/14. And raffle license 14-09, 50/50 on-premise, Holy Child Parish, Altar and Rosary Society, 5/3/14. All paperwork is in order, and I'd like to make a motion to approve these licenses.
Can I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes, have it.
I do have some other things to report. Our police have been very active this week. We're a very proactive department. We had 124 traffic summonses issued to moving vehicles. We had motor vehicle crashes. We had 25 that they responded to this month. And to date, 310 arrests have been made. We only had 7 hours of overtime, which I'm grateful for, and I appreciate the hard work that our department does. I do know that in the recent meeting of the JIF, we received many awards for our public safety and our safety coordinator, Fred Liberty's work in promoting safety in the boroughs. And those awards were presented that day at the breakfast. I believe, Mr. Kapanis, were you there for that breakfast? Were you able to?
I was not.
You weren't there. I was.
You were there, Mayor, weren't you proud of
Oh,
our
yeah.
public safety record? And each year we receive awards for our really intense efforts to maintain public safety in the borough and throughout the borough. I am liaison to the Education, Board of Education, and while I was away, Councilwoman Passio sat in for me, thank you. You're welcome. And she reported that Dr. Sean McCarron was appointed to be the custodian of records for the remainder of the school year, effective April 1st. The school board purchased 80 Dell Chrome books for $31,000, and that was approved. And these devices will be used for small group instruction in the classrooms. The budget hearing, you'll be happy to hear, that for a home that's $147,000, the taxes for our school district went up $60.30 for a home that's valued at that. The budget was kept under the 2% cap. And that's my report, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Public events, Axia.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. The rabies clinic was successful. We had over 120 animals, and we microchipped 4 of them. The Women's Club did collect $60 in cash donations, and the Women's Club also added $40. I added $20 to that, making the cash donation to $120. And we're hoping that they can purchase 2 conjure beds for the animals so that they don't have to sleep on the floors. The Women's Club also collected dog food, dog treats, blankets, which I did deliver to the shelter, and all donations were given to the Camden County Animal Shelter. Youth Mayor and Council will begin on Saturday, May 3rd, and then Saturday, May 10th. Eleanor and myself met with Mr. Iannucci and Mr. Pilley, and the 8th grade students at Marygold School will be participating. I reached out to St. Teresa's, but I was told that they have 4 students from Runnemede, and that all of their parents said that the children have other activities, so they won't be able to participate in Youth Mayor and Council Week. So we will be having some students coming in from Marygold's. Climate change, as we all know, is affecting our world. and it is affecting our butterflies and our ecosystem, and it's because of man. Change can only come from education and learning what we can do to slow it down or maybe even stop it. So I'm asking you, if you care, to please join the Green Team and see what a difference you can make for our life and our future. Our meetings are going to be held on the third Thursday of every month, and most likely, I believe it's in the evening, and each month we're planning on meeting in a different area, possibly walking through Green Acres and discussing our plans, having dinner at one of the restaurants in town. We want to reach out to the people who want to make a difference. And did you know that if you plant some milkweed on your property, we can save them on our butterflies from extinction? So we can start there. Also, I was asked to be a judge in the Miss Mustang contest at Triton High School, so I'm somewhat excited. And that will take place on Thursday, April 17th. It will be an exciting event, so come out and support them, please. And that's the end of my results.
Thank you, Seth.
My report. I've been getting so many results this week, I'm sorry.
Okay, engineer, Mr. Farrell.
Thank you, Mayor. Mark and myself, last week discussed the streets, and we went through all the streets, and we came up with 2 streets that we thought were the worst, which was South Oakland and Washington Avenue. Another street, Irish Hill, we were waiting for a CDBG grant. In the last few hours, we learned that the grant was denied. I'll let Mark talk about that a little more. And before you're done, Mark, will you talk about Green Acres, what's happening with the locks and the cameras? Thank you.
Good luck. Public Works, Beverly Moore.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, well, we have had no white stuff falling from the sky, so that's a good sign. Yard waste pickup starts Monday, April 7th. It'll be every Monday, townwide, every single day from now until the end of fall. The leaf machine is also going to be out this week, so weather permitting, please, any leaves that you want to do in your property that have cleaned up from what's left over from the fall that you didn't get to, now's the chance to get them out. The signs will be back up throughout town announcing when certain areas are going to have leaf pickup. So they will have them out, so I encourage everybody, use this time to get all the leaves off the property. So April 7th, going forward every Monday. Tuesday, April 22nd, there's going to be a hazardous waste drop-off at the Public Works Building in Collingswood from 8:30 till 3 o'clock, and it's rain or shine. The drop-off location is at 713 Atlantic Avenue. I have the phone number. If anybody needs it, I'll be happy to give it out. I mean, I can give it and we can keep it online. It's 856-858-0533. They will take any hazardous material that you have. They will not take latex paint. If you have any latex paint that you need to dispose of, you can add cat litter to it. That complies with everything for the county. And then you can place it curbside and it will be picked up with your regular trash. But if you have old items laying around, I urge you to take advantage of this because they are far and few between, so it's a good opportunity. TVs can be dropped off at Public Works Department Monday through Friday from 7 till 3. You can also call Public Works and they will come out and pick it up. They are going to be doing, Public Works Department's going to be doing some chipping and tree removal down at Green Acres. They were down there over the last week marking trees that needed to be removed along the path. If the weather continues to cooperate, hopefully we'll start clean up because it was definitely a rough winter. Curb painting is going to start back up again. There's a lot of areas that did not get hit last year. Damaged street signs and down signs and old signs, there's a lot of those, are going to be replaced, and that's just an ongoing process. The community garden that's located at Harry Williams by the library is being relocated. It's going to be given to Trinity Lutheran Church. They are starting a program with their youth group. I've spoken to Sherry Stroop, who is running it along with someone else from the youth group, and I'm sorry I don't know their name. She assures me that regardless of whatever your spiritual choice is, that they would be happy to have anyone from the community participate in attending to the garden. So I will be happy to give you her number. She gave me permission to give it out to anyone that's interested in helping with the garden. So it's not out of town, it's just being relocated. Other than that, I will say progress.
Thank you. Parks and Recreation, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Finally been able to get some work done up at down at Green Acres and at the RYAA. The 2 little fields are 90% completed, look great. All the other fields have been reconditioned, and it's nice to see the kids all out there playing on it. They might be wet, but we don't play on them. Green Acres fields are being used for soccer. They look great. It's nice to see the nets out there, really nice and bright and white, and they stick out. All fields are or will be seeded and treated with fertilizer that keep them looking good for the year. And it's going to be a process. It's an 8-stage process that they're going to seed, fertilize, and then seed at the end of the season. New business, we're looking into projects in Hirsch Lake. So if anybody has any ideas on what we can do for Hirsch Lakes to clean it up and some projects, give me a call. And filed a open space grant for the workout building and the walking path at the RYAA. So hopefully we see if we receive that. And the rest is progress.
Thank you. Administration report, Mr. Wright.
I think I'm going to rely on my work in caucus and I look forward to a presentation to everyone next Tuesday for the budget. I do apologize for not having that ready. I was really busy putting all this package together for Councilman Borough. April 1st. Good.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Solicitor, Mr. Wood.
I will also rely on my report at caucus. I did relook it, the request came in for us to consent to the signed application. And all over the place, the proposed one was a little over the top, so I modified it just to indicate that we were consenting to them making the application. We weren't opining whether it was a good or bad or ugly application, just that they had the right to make the application.
Is that all for tonight?
We just decided.
We decided. We already decided.
We took care of progress.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. Engineer Mark Patriot.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm going to rely mostly on my report from last caucus, but a lot has happened since last Tuesday, and I'll try and cover as much as I can, as quickly as I can. The first thing that Mr. Farrell reported on was last week we were authorized to submit Irish Hill Road as our CDBG project. It was in the right census tract, but CDBG let us know today that it would not qualify because it benefits too many businesses as opposed to residents. So we had to pick another project to do. And as Councilman Farrell also said, we rode some roads last week and looked at a couple different roads to consider. The two worst were Washington Avenue and also South Oakland Avenue. Washington Avenue, a portion of it happens to be in the correct CDBG area. So we're recommending that we walk a resolution on tonight to submit an application to CDBG for Washington Avenue as this year's year 36 CDBG application. And then in looking at some budget numbers, the construction cost alone would be over $300,000 for both South Oakland and Washington Avenue. So whatever we decide to do this year, we're going to have to phase. So this way, if we start with Washington Avenue as CDBG and some bond money, what we could do is for next year's state aid application, put in for South Oakland Avenue because it's a good candidate because it connects two county roads. So our recommendation would be do South Washington or do Washington this year, and look at doing South Oakland Avenue next year and then get NJDOT funding for that. So that's one thing we have to consider. The other thing is on your agenda tonight, you have resolutions 14-62 and 14-63. I don't have copies of the resolutions, but the title says we're releasing retained and the maintenance bond. We're actually releasing their performance bond and starting the maintenance period. I'm not sure if the wording in your resolution is correct or not, but that's something to take note of. We're releasing the performance bond and entering the maintenance period.
We just amend that.
I'll work with you that while you're
Okay.
excuse me, Mark, that's on both of them. Release the performance bond.
Yes, on both projects, we're releasing performance and entering the maintenance period. It's a 2-year maintenance period. I think it was from last November when we had substantial completion. And also speaking about One of those projects is Reed Avenue, we're having some pavement failure at Manor Court right now. Lambert's going to be out there tomorrow addressing those issues under their maintenance agreement. And the last thing I have to report on is Councilman Farrell asked me to talk about the cameras and the alarm out at Green Acres. The last thing we have to do is get the alarm hooked up before we can turn it over to the borough. We've been working with Franklin Alarm. They, after 3 times of blowing us off, we finally met them out on site. They said there's 3 options for tying their alarm system into the borough's current system. So they're looking at 3 options. One is to use one of the data lines that we had installed for the camera system. The other is to use the cable line with a telephone modem. And the third is just to put a cellular system out there. All 3 require slightly different panels. So they're giving us a cost estimate to do that. Once we get that, we'll make a recommendation to the borough. And then when we get the camera or the alarm hooked up, then we can get the camera rolling and turn the whole project over to the borough and get the contractor out of there.
Can I just ask a
Yes.
question? With those 3 that they're gonna give you the options for, besides the cost maintenance, can we talk about like the maintenance issues involved with them? You know what I mean? Like which one's gonna be way more labor intensive if something happens?
Okay.
If I may, can we choose 1 or 2, option 1 or 2?
You don't want to do a cellular?
No, because we already have the triple play, and in order to get the high speed, you have to get the
Okay,
triple play. So
okay.
there's no sense in incurring another cost.
Not a problem. Okay. I will make note of that and make note of, excuse me. Yes.
One time, wasn't this in the budget for all this? Cameras and all that?
We have an alarm system out there, it's just we have to make it compatible with Franklin Alarm's system.
But wasn't that the one time in the budget? I mean, you said.
I think what Mr. Bayshore was trying to say is that the alarm was added, but it was not spoken to us that we had to have some kind of connection. I know that sounds kind of ridiculous because we do have wires that run out there through Comcast that we do pay a fee to connect to it. But for some reason, the person who put the alarm in never communicated with us about the fact that it would have to be a separate connection. You know, with the camera, remember there's a camera, there's an alarm, there's a door lock mechanism, and they're all independent of
And
each
we're
other,
also trying to tie in the Franklin system.
which is what we're
It's
using
not-
here.
I think the best way to describe it is it's not monitored, so if we going off down there and.
Yeah, without monitoring, it didn't make any sense. I think it was an oversight.
That's all I have to report on.
Thank you, Mark.
Mark, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Are the bathrooms open?
They are not, they're still manually being opened. You could have it turn on, but there would be no alarm oversight at this point in time. But the borough wants us to,
We're talking time-wise for the alarm.
I'm hoping to get something back this week as far as the cost.
But we're not gonna be able to approve it till next month.
Well, I got it either Tuesday. So maybe,
But even if we don't have the actual alarm in play, the automatic door locks can be set
Yes,
for
we
a
can,
time.
I think we should do that.
I think we should.
I actually thought we had already agreed to do that.
well, we did, but then, we got cameras.
I know the building has been turned over to us. I know it's difficult.
Yes, there's some issues with who's responsible if something goes wrong.
While we're opening and closing
And
it.
we don't have,
As an aside, I have received a phone call this week regarding the RY's use of the soccer field there. They, I spoke to Nick about it, they have not submitted their dates that they're using the field. They also wanted to add on practice time. So they need to do that. They also need to.
Yeah, I told them at the last meeting to send you a letter.
I received nothing, but I told them they need to get me an insurance certificate, the revised insurance certificate, also naming that area as part of the additional insurance.
Okay.
So, I don't know, when does that start?
Soccer's actually already
They started.
practicing.
They
now.
They're not, they really need to.
Well, they need that in case somebody else shows up at the field. It is
That's
a
the other,
public-
that's the other issue.
They're allowed to be down there, but if they want to reserve the time.
They told to do that, I think it was last week, to get the dates in that they need, and
Right, because right now, I explained to her, they went down there, and there was a group of kids playing in the field. They have no right to the field.
right.
So people who, I mean, it's a public
I
park,
assume
it's different
they
than
did
the
it
RY.
already, because they were told to do it last week.
Yeah, so they still need to do that, and they need to list that on the insurance certificate also.
I'll email the president.
But is your concern though, if we allow them, before they turn it over to us, opening, closing the doors?
Who's liable if somebody breaks in while, I'm just not sure what the legal.
I mean, I personally think that we can turn the locks on. You know, we actually, we were down there once when we opened the bathroom for them during a practice, wasn't it? Did you open it?
Yeah.
During the game, and I don't think there was a problem. The issue is has to lock once everyone leaves, correct? The system is designed to lock on its own. I think we just set it up for the hours of, 6 to 6 at this point, and then just lock. Then once the police get online with the cameras and the alarm, I think we'll be fine.
I think we need longer than 6, though.
Whatever.
Whatever.
It was originally programmed from 6 to 8.
6, 8. It's just a wrong part. I mean,
I'll go to public safety on that, then after, even though it's on an automatic time lock, can we make it part of the ritual that police have to physically check the bathrooms? If they have a key to access it, they need to physically check it, because if they're being closed at a certain time, that doesn't bar anybody from going in there and sleeping in there. Because, I mean, they sleep all over the place.
One of the systems is, heat
Until
sensor.
right, until the alarm gets up, but if we're
Right.
just doing the opening, closing of the doors, then I think that it should be something.
I think Captain Bailey's here, he can answer the
Well, that
question.
means
Yes.
somebody's in there.
What's the question?
The question is, can the police department sometime after the 8 o'clock closure of the doors, just go and check to make sure that no one has stayed in that bathroom?
Absolutely.
And it has to be something, Paul, like honestly, it needs to be something that is put on a daily routine, that it is absolutely done, because no offense to the police department, and please, they don't faithfully lock the gate down there, so it needs to be something that has to, and this is a large investment.
Absolutely.
Until the alarm is on.
Until the alarm gets activated.
Absolutely, will be done, and I'll make sure that Sergeant put it on the daily report, that's how much time was done, and do that.
Okay, because that's my biggest concern,
If
is
that's-
somebody sleeping in there.
So that'll help that.
Well, how would the police know if somebody's sleeping in there?
Because
if the doors are locked?
they have access.
We'll give them the code.
They can get the code, and they
Do you have the code now?
No.
Well, we haven't activated anything yet, I mean.
No, the
it's
code
not-
to the
Well,
manual.
no, it's manual now.
Is it
Well,
locked?
let me ask you a question, do you want us,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
so basically you wanted us to do this when we lock the park at night?
Yes,
Let's go in there, check, make sure no one's in there, lock it, and lock.
correct, and I think the gate should be closed with that also, I mean, the less traffic that's back there, the better, I mean.
They always go in and drive through.
We always go and drive through, but if you like that done, it'll be done, no problem. I'll make sure it's on the daily reports.
That would be
And
awesome.
every officer goes in, checks the restrooms, and make sure they're okay. You just tell me when we're starting this, and when we're opening it up.
I think the doors should be tomorrow, we turn on this alarm.
So do you want
The
me-
doors open at 6 and close at 8.
Do you want me to start then after 8 o'clock? The officer will go in,
Yes.
the officer will check in that there's nobody there when they lock the gate?
When we leave here, we'll give you the code before you leave.
Okay, no problem.
Perfect, thanks, Paul.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Captain.
You're welcome.
There you go. That's my biggest concern, I mean, that is my biggest concern.
Like I said, once the alarm's working, then
That's
the same
the
thing right in there after hours.
Because if it's set on a time frame, it's only a matter of time for somebody figures it out.
No, that's why we put the alarms in.
I will
But
get,
they're wrong.
With it just being on.
I will get our guys to
Yeah.
go activate it, and we'll get that. Okay, thank you.
6 to 8.
People are there walking, they walk around.
Always
We'll figure it out.
That concludes my report, Madam Mayor.
Old business. Public comments on the agenda items.
So he can finish watching.
Anyone wishing to speak on the items that we just went through, please come up to the microphone, state your name and address. Public comments
That's just the idea, that's what
on the agenda.
Seeing no one, I make a motion to close the public portion. All in favor?
New business.
Resolution 1459 is a resolution endorsing the submission of the 2012 municipal recycling common form application to the DEP. We did this every year.
May I have a motion?
I make the motion.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I move that this resolution is now adopted.
Resolution 1460 is a resolution certifying the submission of expenditure for taxes paid on solid waste. You'll see that the tax is blank and the actual amount of tax is blank because the county is not that bad to me, that would be numbers.
So how can we approve?
Well, it's just a
It's
report.
just,
Just read out the report.
It's just a report, you're gonna say this is what we said.
this is what we, yes. and they just
Not
have
full
to
expenditure, it's a report of full expenditure.
Okay. Can I have a motion,
I'll make
please?
a motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I move that this resolution is now adopted.
Resolution 1461 is a resolution approving participation with the state of New Jersey in the Safe and Secure Communities Program administered by the Division of Criminal Justice, Department of Law and Public Safety. This is our grant, our Safe and Secure grant.
Can I have a motion?
I make a motion.
Second?
All those in favor? Roll call.
Mrs. Passiano?
Yes.
Mr. Ruth?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell? Mr. Papadas?
Yes.
Mrs. Moore? Yes. And Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
6 ayes.
I move that this resolution is now adopted.
Resolution 1462 is a resolution releasing retainage and performance bond. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, we're gonna,
Performance and maintenance.
we're just gonna release the performance bond.
And releasing the retainage, correct?
This one's 62.
So we're releasing the retainage, releasing the performance bond, and we're accepting the maintenance bond
Right.
for Lambert Construction, and this one is for,
First
reaction
rehab.
phase 2.
First one's for land, but
Yeah, and it's rehabilitation.
Yeah, for the purpose of the
So,
avenue, and orchard.
so in all the relevant portions there were all three whereases where it says release of the maintenance bond, it's gonna say release of the performance bond and retainage and acceptance of the maintenance bond. And it will say that all the way through.
Okay.
Okay, that's the change.
Okay. Can I have
Yeah,
a motion?
we do both at the same time, 1462 and
63,
63?
yeah, you can. And 63 is exactly the same change.
Changed it.
Release of the
But it's
performance.
a different portion of rehab, does
Yeah.
that matter?
Yeah. So
Um,
we're releasing the performance and retention and accepting the maintenance bond, and that's the language that will get replaced in all appropriate places.
I make a motion to approve resolution 1462 and 1463 as amended.
I second.
Roll call for both.
We need a roll call?
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly?
yes.
Mrs. Passiano?
Yes.
Mr. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Moore?
Yes.
And Mr. Collins?
Yes.
6 ayes.
I move that the resolution be now adopted.
Resolution 1464 is a resolution refunding the duplicate lien payments to Inland Mortgage for Block 298.
Have a motion.
I make a motion.
Someone second it?
I second it.
Roll call.
Mrs. Passiano?
Yes.
Mr. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mr. Tapadas?
Yes.
Mrs. Moore?
Yes.
And Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
6 ayes.
I move this resolution is now adopted.
Resolution 1465 is a resolution authorizing adjustments to sewer accounts.
Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I second,
Roll call.
Mrs. Kelly?
yes.
Mrs. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Passiano?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mr. Root?
Yes.
And Mr. Tapadas?
Yes.
6 ayes.
I move that this resolution is now adopted.
Resolution 1466 is a resolution authorizing the payment of a prior year bill.
Can I have a motion?
I make a motion.
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Mr. Claus?
Yes.
Mrs. Passiano?
Yes.
Mrs. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
And Mr. Root?
I move that this resolution is now adopted.
Resolution 1467 is a resolution authorizing an increase in library quarterly allotment.
I make a motion.
You do I read this and understand it correctly, that the annual contribution is now going from 120 to 130?
Yes.
It's just a little,
Is it not clear?
it's probably clear, but we're authorizing a quarterly increase, which would increase their allotment, so it's sort of clear, so just so that's what everybody
He's
understands.
dividing
We're
it.
increasing the allotment to be paid quarterly, I guess.
Right, so we're authorizing, so I just want to make sure everybody understood. It's the annual that increases by 10,000, so.
It's
just
just paid quarterly.
would be 25.
The annual allotment is just paid for. 3 minutes?
No, no, it's enough. I just want everybody to make sure that.
They
we were
understood
given
what quarterly
500.
payments are, yeah.
Beverly made the motion.
I made the motion.
I second.
Roll call.
Mr. Paz.
Yes.
Mrs. Passiano?
Yes.
Mrs. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
And Mr. Rudy?
Yes.
I move that this resolution is now adopted.
Who made the second one?
Answers, comment on.
Eleanor, Eleanor.
Bob and Ellen?
Quick one.
Resolution 1468 is a resolution confirming 2014 appointments. Taylor Lay Knapp, part-time EMT.
I'll make a motion.
I second.
Wait, can I have a discussion on this? Mr. Daly?
Yes, sure.
I don't mean that, I just want to, only because someone's, do we not want to do this? No.
This is the EMT.
I know it's EMT, but then.
Yes.
There's the police department put 2 applications in for a bailiff and a crossing guard. Is that something that needs to be done tonight because the director was not made aware of it
No,
today?
it's not have to be done tonight. We still have to do their checks, their background checks, so that's not going to be done tonight. When it's done, we'll sit down, we'll meet with yourself, Ms. Passiano, and Ms. Kelly, and we'll present you with what we found and if we would like to bring them on board.
Okay. If you get it done and if it needs to be done, we're meeting again next Tuesday.
Okay, well, as I said, I believe that we have a meeting, before we present something, we speak
Somebody.
and we bring it up.
Oh, nice for the captain.
What's that?
Can't be done at this time.
He just says it can't be done.
That's just what he said.
Not be done, we didn't.
So one,
Okay, so then it's fine.
Thank
We need
you.
it done, like I said, we're hopefully going to have a meeting next week, and if not, the following week. Okay, that's all.
Hey, can I have a roll call on this?
The EMT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mrs. Moore? Yes. Mrs. Passiano?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mr. Rudy?
Yes.
And Mr. Capano?
Yes.
I move that this resolution is now adopted.
Resolution 1469 is a resolution approving a memorandum of understanding to access New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission's, they call it the CAR program. That's how it's spelled, C-A. I guess I need a motion first, and I'll explain.
Yes.
I make a motion.
Second.
Roll call.
If you want to, Joyce, you want to explain it a little bit?
This is, if you will remember, we have for years been able to look up driver's licenses of our employees who use our vehicles until they've changed the method. We're no longer allowed to go to the courts, we can't go to the police department. This is their new system. We have to submit an application, pay $250. They can be slice your thumb and do blood brothers before they'll allow you to get in there. But anyway, this is the next part of it now. They've approved the application. They've sent us a memorandum of understanding, which you have to develop. And then we will be able to look up in real time anyone who drives a vehicle for the borough, which we're required to do under the JET. Yeah, so this is the method.
Roll call.
Mrs. Keller?
Yes.
Mrs. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Passiano?
Yes.
Mr. Ruth?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mr. Potts?
Yes.
I move that this resolution is now adopted.
Then we're going to add on the resolution 14171 is authorizing.
Oh, you didn't do
No,
70.
I need 70.
Oh, we skipped 70? 1470?
Is that important?
Okay, then we'll go to that one. Resolution 1470 is a resolution directing the owner of the property located at 557 Oakland Avenue to install a driveway apron on Smith Avenue.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Mrs. Keller?
Yes.
Mrs. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Passios?
Yes.
Mr. Ruth?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
And Mr. Capani?
Yes.
I move this resolution is now adopted.
All
She said she would go.
Resolution 1471
Yes.
is a resolution authorizing community development block grant year 36 to be submitted for a portion of or all of Washington Avenue.
Washington Avenue from Plaza Place
Okay.
to Haverford Road.
Plaza to Haverford.
Did you talk
I
about
make a
it?
motion.
Yeah.
I second that.
Can I have a motion on this?
I did.
We did it. Bevan had it.
I didn't even hear. Roll call.
Mrs. Kelly?
Mrs. Kelly?
Roll call.
Oh, yes. Mrs. Moore? Yes. Mrs. Passios?
Yes.
Mr. Ruth?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
And Mr. Capani?
Yes.
I move that this resolution is now adopted.
Do we need any kind of motion? I mean, the mayor says you won't be able to make next Tuesday. Do we have enough people to make this meeting? We need a super majority, right?
I won't be here, because I didn't know anything about it, I just read it, mentioned it tonight.
We didn't expect it.
Found out tonight, too.
We didn't know either.
I mean, Tuesday's okay for me. I think Mr. Farrell's not able to show up. Okay. We have to have at least four.
You're good?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't care.
I'm good.
We'll have fun.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm not. I got a library work.
Four voting members.
Well, we should all five for the six.
Five? Bob said
What time
no.
is it? I might be able to make it.
Did you guys say
I
no?
don't think I can. I have a library board meeting, but, you know. What time are you planning on doing it? Because I might be able to make it.
7:30. So you want to do 6?
6 is fine. You want to do 6?
I don't think
6 is good.
6 is fine.
6.
6
Okay.
is good.
Everyone good for 6?
6 o'clock.
We have 5.
Bob might be, if we do it at 6, Bob might be able to make it.
That's for 6.
6 o'clock.
So Tuesday, April 8th. And it'll just be the budget. But you'll advertise in case anyone possibly for private holiday. Okay, so keep it open.
Put 2 birds with 1 stone.
The only thing to do is just purchase, right, just purchase. All right, Don.
Do we discuss the
That's
copy of
going to
the,
be Rich discussing the copy of these.
what would be the motion?
Well, Kathy, if they choose to.
Oh, that's going to be in closed session?
No, it's not this.
Let's do it next week.
No, basically, big work in front of you on that, but, the cost of once you own a copier, you have to get a maintenance agreement on it, and if you don't get a maintenance agreement
Oh, I
on it,
know.
you spend
I know about
$1,000 here, $1,000 there. So the cost of getting a new copier is smarter than doing a maintenance agreement on something that's already at the end of its basically useful life. So we had a proposal put together by a vendor of state contract, referred to us by Mr. Law. They have it, Woodbury is our QPA. And basically, I guess our recommendation is that we do it one for police department, one for up here, to replace one by the door. So, but I don't have the full road.
Do you need approval from us, or is this just?
Yeah, that would be approved.
Is it in the budget?
We have to, well, you know, we can do it on, I'll put them.
Good for Tuesday? Now, we're getting rid of the ones we have, or they just need moved around?
No, the two that are going are gonna go because they're not worth,
Okay.
it's $1,200 to get the line off the middle of the page, I mean, so it's not worth putting that kind of money out at one time. I believe these payments were around 3 something,
And that includes ink and all the maintenance.
that includes, it's a color copy.
Are we purchasing or leasing these?
It's gonna be a lease, and we're not gonna offer.
Lease for 2.
By the time it's done, you just move on to the new one, so. I'll give everybody a copy of the. No. I will give you a copy of that.
They'll give it to me. I know. Payment of bills.
I make a motion to pay the monthly bills.
I will second that.
Okay, roll call.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mrs. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Passio?
Yes.
Mr. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
And Mr. Capano?
Yes.
6 ayes.
This is the good and welfare portion of the meeting. Anyone wishing to speak, please come up to the microphone, state your name and address.
Great bands, Robert Todd, South Oakland Avenue. I just want to pay a compliment. It's very noticeable around town that the council that we have in place is actually doing things. So I think every one of you deserves a thank you for that. Mrs. Kelly, with regard to your department, I witnessed it today. They are a wonderful group of men that really get together when there's a problem in town, as did Public Works stepping up. Charlie Ramon, who's back there. It was amazing to see everybody come together. The other thing I'd like to say, Mrs. Kelly, as a school board member, is it's wonderful seeing a member of our council present. You know, when you're not there, calling someone for backup. I know that Patty was there last month. I think it's a good thing. So I thank you all for what you do. I complain when something's wrong, but I compliment when things are wrong.
That's Mr. Meehan.
I just want to remind you.
Now let me tell you what's going on. Yeah.
Okay, no one else will close this portion of the meeting.
Yeah, I make a motion to close the public portion of the meeting.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Who's going to say that?
Yeah, first one,
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.